Thank you, Deepti. Now I request Dr. Akhtar to express his views on this.
This is a time when everybody is bored and almost 70% have already left the hall. This is the situation of architectural education also. Architecture education is actually a case of casualty by its custodians. All of us, professional architects and the Indian Institute of Architects, has been the main agents of this casualty. Like the Romans said, the Indian Institute of Architects is a weak professional body. And over these last 20 years, it has really been reduced to a very weak forum. And a lot of responsibility goes on this weakness of our professional assembly, the association, which has not taken the care in the right manner. And most of the time we are deliberating in terms of if and buts, should be, should be, should be. And most of the time we are trying to develop a system where education is driven by charity. We are expecting the professional to come and educate the students in any schools. So by charity this cannot be done, and the situation is, as architects we should understand everything in society is economy driven. Education, teaching, everything, architecture profession, everything is economy driven. And economic equation is in such an imbalance that the practical situation, the present format of architecture education is not workable. The people who got work to earn, who can deliver the design, they are not willing to teach. And people who are rejected from the profession, I'm sorry to say, a lot of them join education. They go there and teach and spend their life, earn their livelihood. And at times they become deadwood. Because over the years, over the decades, they have not put up any project, take up any project. And they continue to teach. And architecture profession is so quick transformation, it's very difficult to keep pace with that. If you are not in practice, you cannot keep pace with the changing format of profession, and you will be a deadwood and teaching the things which were absolutely irrelevant. Your approach will be irrelevant. And to bridge up that, we are asking the professional, you come there and teach us. Or at the extreme, we'll send our raw stock at third year level or fourth year level to professional, and we believe they will polish them up and they will send it back. Then we stamp them. Yes, these are our graduates. So that is a wrong approach. Hypothetical. That is again charity by education by charity. That is not workable. That is not going to work. And paradox you can see from this example. Like if you see last year there was a lot of debate. BA should be 4 years or 3 years. In our times, say in 70s or 80s, when BA used to be of 2 years and BSc used to be of 3 years, architecture and BS used to be of 4 years, 5 years, both of them. And in every discipline, the scope of study has widened a lot. And today, even there is debate. Yesterday only, B.Ed has been increased from 1 year to 2 years. And in Architects Forum, we are debating to reduce the 4 years, 5 years to 4 years or the 3 years. So we are the only one who are in the reverse mode. Whereas this expansion in the scope of architecture education is tremendous. And when you go into it, it's very difficult to even to cope up in 5 years. But to serve some personalized interest, even the council is forcing. Reduce the teaching of 4.5 years to 4 years and leave 1 year for the market to train your students. And you keep charging the fees, patronizing the education system. We were having a lot of problems, then suddenly the country went into the privatization mode of education, which was overtaken by the education mafia. And the voting system, number of colleges are opening because they are the voters for the council. So, any number of colleges you can open up. Can you believe when there are only 130 colleges in the country, 70, all the premium colleges, especially the 31, were either in the frozen category or in the degree recognized category, including the SPA and CCA and GCA. And all the colleges which were having nothing, they were having approvals. So that situation has prevailed in this country. We said continuous learning program for teachers. We did 10-year experiment in architecture pedagogy. Then we forced UGC to launch a program because there is always staff colleges in central universities everywhere. They conduct the courses for all the subjects. I managed to force the UGC to open a course for the architecture teachers. We invited the teacher, offered them the hostel and the travel cost and everything. Nobody turned up. The project was dropped. It could not take off. So everybody is a god in architecture. Nobody needs to done. Nobody wants to interact. Nobody wants to sit together to deliberate on what to be done. So that is the situation. Like I said, charity cannot be done. It has to be cost effective, and architecture education is not cost effective. You are not getting the good teachers. You are relying on the deadwoods. So there was one formula, one way out, which I suggested in 1990 to Indian Institute of Architects. You go for the CA mode. Make articles, select the architects, 20,000, 10,000 professionals, out of them 500. 1,000 architects may be there who would be willing to work as a Guru Shish Paddhati. And let them have seats. Let them culture them, nurture them, and you examine them and then give them certificate. That would have been very practical system. Every individual architect who is having some mistake in the profession would be having his own prestige linked with these peoples and would have treated. If in 500 in a year or if 100 in a year, in 20 years you would have got a good stock. And that could have been a parallel system running, which was cost effective. And architecture, you know, the nature of architecture education is very vibrant. Lot of people from diverse fields, all the grace masters, not originally aimed to be architect, they became architect just by drift. Even our dear Romy Khosla, he is economist, he became architect. Many great masters, they drifted. And that IIA hall which was open, the entry was open, anybody could walk in, if has a flair, a passion for architecture, with 10 class or 10 plus 2, could appear the examination and take a training and improve himself, prove his worth. But then it was stagnated, you should have a mechanical diploma of some school, some polytechnic, maybe cosmetic. So it was reduced. The people who were having alive, who were having the passion, who were have a conviction to be architect, that road was blocked for them. You cannot enter the profession now. Only a draftsman, an electrician, an AC vendor can become an architect through IIA. And finally, that system was closed. CA took the advantage and your system was lost, which has the parliamentary nod with you, which was in the democratic spirit of the country. So that track is still open. You work it out. CA system, chartered accountants are very much in demand, very highly respected. They get trained under some trained for people. Same system you can run through the IIA. You got the parliamentary approval for your examinations. You open that system, introduce article system, work it on it. It can still work. It can ensure the quality, which has been lost by the mushrooming of the colleges. And there the cost effectiveness is not an issue, which is there in every college. Teachers are not in the college because the teaching profession is not as paying as the practice is. So nobody is coming in the practice. So these are the issues which should be addressed. As an architect, architects means you are dealing in things which are real, physical realities. So your approach has to be real and concrete. It should not be in assumptions and presumptions. It should be in consideration, in consumerism, in economic condition, global scenario, where the country is heading. Then we can have a reorientation of the education. That time is still not gone, that time is still there, but we have to focus in a very realistic terms, not swinging this way, that way. When first you tune the system, then there will be time for fine tuning. All the attempts are on the fine tuning the system. First bring it to whatever, 2500 meters, whatever you are, then you make it 2505 meters. We are talking about the fine tuning of the system where the total system is untuned. First tune the system, then fine tune. Respect the diversity, respect the vibration in the profession, and then plan it accordingly. One man's thought, one man's thinking, a prototype cannot be there for architecture education. And council has to be limited to its given mandate. IIA which nurtured the council, was eventually eaten away by the council. II should come on its own feet and make a sound, strive for the development of the profession, work out the realistic means where the good architects can be produced, can be trained. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.